We're here with the Ohio Business Podcast and the owner of NOSH Butters, Sam Troman. Thanks for coming on, first off.
Thanks for having me.
So you and your wife, Lauren, correct, started NOSH Butters back in 2018, right?
That's right.
You kind of want to talk about how you got started in the butter game, and then what was kind of the thought process with the branding, the product, and just anything else?
Yeah, well, I grew up eating peanut butter and evolved to eating some more almond butter later in life. And as I got older, thought more about other types of nuts and seeds. I started with pistachio butter. I saw pistachios all over the place and wondered why nobody actually made it into butter. So at the time, I was working in corporate marketing, and Lauren and I were living in Cleveland, actually, and we were just experimenting making pistachio butter at home. And then we started to think about all the different types of combinations we could make, and so the light bulb just kind of went off for us, and we started to create these unique products. So it started with pistachio, then we started mixing pistachios and almonds and cashews and almonds, and we started to think not only are there a lot of unique combinations we can create that nobody's done before and that taste awesome, but they can be used in a lot of ways. And we also thought back to like the peanut butter that we grew up eating, and nothing against the brands that are like the iconic peanut butter brands, but there are some problems with them, and consumers are wising up to what they're eating, because what we eat, affects our health. And when there's ingredients like, artificial sweeteners, hydrogenated fats, palm oil, we thought there was opportunity to create kind of a cleaner, natural product, but also be able to differentiate it in a unique way. And the brand NOSH, it's actually a Yiddish word that means to snack. So we thought it was a good fit for our brand because basically these are wholesome snacks that are unique, and can be used in a ton of different ways. And on top of that, we turned it into an acronym, Natural Originals to Satisfy Your Hunger. And we went with that, and here we are.
Nice. So it started with you and Lauren just in your home making peanut butter, and now it's expanded. Kind of what scale are you at now? And then what is your target where you get your most sales from grocery stores? Or
So we started at home, and in order to distribute nut butters, you actually have to work out of a commercial kitchen. So a couple of years ago, I started renting space at a commercial kitchen, actually up in Chagrin Falls, and just figuring out the process. And we've scaled up to now we're in major retail stores, and we distribute through a lot of independent grocery stores too across the country. And the majority of our business is in Ohio in the grocery store game. We started out doing events and doing like farmers markets and like the Cleveland Flea and other ways to just kind of get our name out there and generate some cash, but also build relationships with customers. And as we've gotten into more grocery stores, we've kind of pulled back from the events. Of course, with COVID happening, we've pulled back entirely from events that are focused on mainly the grocery game, but we've also now picked out our own kitchen space to move into. So kind of the next step for us is having our own space that we can use 24/7. And we can use it not only for NOSH Butters, but doing bulk manufacturing for other businesses. even doing some different types of products that are adjacent to what we're doing today, because there's a lot of nut-based products we can create. So it's been kind of a continuous process in scaling up and building distribution through grocery stores. And now we're trying to think, beyond that, what's next.
So how many products do you have under the NOSH branding?
Right now we do 7 different flavors or combinations of nuts and seeds. And we offer them in a couple different sizes.
Okay. Now, where do you kind of see your competitors kind of changing towards this vegan, new? They're taking up shelf space. I know a lot of people going towards that vegan and that new age peanut butter, and I started buying it. It's just that processed. It just seems, it doesn't seem healthy.
So what's your question, Steven?
How do you see kind of the bigger brand competitors, pivoting towards this new vegan product line, and just kind of, trying to beat you guys out, or what do you think they've been trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, we're not the first company to do this type of work. I think it was in 2012 or 14, Justin's Nut Butter blew up and was acquired by Hormel Foods, and then these specialty nut butter companies started to pop up in different parts of the country, and there's some really great ones out there, like Nuts and More, like Wild Friends in the Pacific Northwest, and I think they're really trying to capitalize on this unmet need in the market. Again, people looking for plant-based foods, people looking for foods without additional crap in them, like palm oil too. And these types of needs are becoming increasingly important for consumers, especially when you consider palm oil, for example. I'm not sure how familiar you are with it, but palm oil production is a leading driver of deforestation. And so with climate change and with, our generations being more cognizant of, our waste, our footprint, and how we take care of the planet, there's opportunity for these nut butter companies to address those needs. And I think they're focused on building awareness of what they're doing and reaching new customers, and they're having a lot of success doing it. So we're hoping we can kind of ride that wave and keep growing our business. But as you mentioned, there is competition that poses challenge for our growth as a business. And so just like our competitors starting to launch new products, new packaging, and trying to, they're investing in more marketing, and a lot of them have very deep pockets that can make it quite a challenge for a small business like us to compete with. So we just have to find, ways to differentiate our brand. And also, there's a lot, like in Ohio, for example, we don't have much local competition at the moment. And so there's a kind of location-dependent strategies that we're focusing on too. And I know our competitors are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that palm oil? Is that the solidifying agent where it kind of, because I think the vegan based is more kind of a liquid form, right? And
I don't know. I can't get really much into the technical side of palm oil,
yeah.
But I know that if you were to talk to like a food scientist, I think they could explain more about the versatility of palm oil and why it's used.
Mm-hmm.
because I do think it can add a lot of different elements to the products that it's used in.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a business owner, where have you kind of been spending the most time within your company lately?
Yeah, lately I've been focused really hard on the online business, really trying to build a better website, to develop new content for social media, and reach new customers and build that awareness, because we're local, we're small, people know us around the region, but outside of Ohio, we're pretty unknown. And another one of my priorities is the new kitchen that we found, and it's going to take a few months to get that set up. It's a process to switch from one place to the other, but once we get it set up, it opens the door for us to do so many other things and capture new revenue streams.
Mm-hmm. How big is that new kitchen, square foot wise?
I don't know. It's relatively small.
Okay.
We're a pretty lean company though, and so having a small space actually works to our advantage at the moment. And I'd say it's probably less than 900 square feet though.
Okay. What's kind of been the process from going towards just working from your kitchen to now just moving into that kitchen? What's that been like from just working in a corporate marketing job to becoming a business owner?
It's a ton of experimenting, a ton of learning, and a ton of failing. This is a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. And having that mindset early on, I think has helped me get where I'm at now. 2 years into the business, it's not so bad. I wasn't sure if we would make it 6 months into the business, but just by being patient and by learning from my mistakes, we've been able to get better, slowly get better and better. And there's people who've been doing this type of stuff for decades, and they know far more than I know, and they have far more resources. So it's a humbling experience, and it's one where you can't be okay with the status quo. You can't be afraid to fail. You just have to try and one day at a time, put one foot in front of the other.
What do you think has been your greatest success?
Establishing, getting on the shelf at Giant Eagle Market District was a big milestone for us. We moved to Cuyahoga Falls in 2017, and we actually met with our retailer at Market District. It was a brand new grocery store in the area, and it's a fantastic retail store. And after less than 2 years of working in the business, we were able to get into all the Giant Eagle Market Districts in Northeast Ohio. So that was
exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the moments where we're like, okay, maybe we do have something that we could build on. So yeah.
From a scaling standpoint, I mean, that's a pretty big jump to go towards all Northeast Ohio, Giant Eagle Marketplace. Were you guys ready to make that leap, or?
Yeah, I think we were, and it took a lot of tweaking to our processes to build up that capacity in a way that was economically viable. But it's been this gradual process where I didn't want to try and grow too fast. I didn't want to try and go approach, Giant Eagle before I was ready. So the timing felt right, and our process was ready to handle it.
How important was it for NOSH to have those processes in place to be able to kind of scale at this pace? Because I mean, 2 years, that's impressive,
No, thanks. Yeah. The process is almost everything. It's like the people are important. Lauren is priceless for this business. The process is incredibly important, and obviously you have to have profits there too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of nut butter businesses have failed because of things like safety issues, food contamination, rather. So how do you manufacture a product consistently and make sure it's safe for people? Because no matter how big you can get, if you have a listeria contamination in your food or salmonella, your business is screwed. So, the safety was number one for our process, and then efficiency and, obviously quality, which they're all important. And that was one of the areas where I focused most of my time and just thinking through the process and making sure that it was done correctly. And we're still working. It's like a continuous process is improving our manufacturing. And as we grow, everything becomes more challenging. And when you put it on paper, it looks fine, but then when you go do something like this in real life, it never is the same as when it's on paper. Mm-hmm. Something always goes wrong, and you just have to, try to solve the problems as they come. But I think it's worked for, I don't know, my mindset works like that, so it's something I enjoy doing.
Would you think safety is probably your biggest, concern, biggest problem?
Food safety is one of my number one concerns. And so that's, something, some of the things that I do, sorry, I hope it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So some of the things that I do though, to manage that is I work with good quality suppliers, and, sometimes you have to pay more to make sure that you're getting product that is going to be safe and people are going to like, but it's worth it in the long run. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, there's other, allergies, which I guess you can tie into food safety. That's important. But without that, you really don't have a business,
Mm-hmm. So I know you got your kid here. So to wrap it up though, what is kind of, if you could speak to entrepreneurs and business owners, well, what's one thing that you would try to just emphasize?
Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and experiment and try new things. I think a lot of times our biggest hurdle is just like right in here, just ourselves. So I think we control our own destiny. And where there's a will, there's a way. So if you have a dream, if there's a need in the market and you believe you have a solution for it, then I think it's worth it to take the risk and see what you can make of it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So how can people find your products? How can they find your website, social medias?
So, our website's noshbutters.com. All the information's up there in terms of how to order online, what retail stores are stocking our products right now. So I think that would be the best way for people to find us.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. We had a little special guest there at the end. family company. I love to see it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I want to introduce you guys to the Ohio Business Podcast first sponsor, Nextdoor. Want to earn extra cash with your extra space? There's an app for that, to Nextdoor, the marketplace for your storage space. Nextdoor is currently taking on new hosts like me. Simply visit their site, nextdoor.com, nxtstor.com, to get the app. Just think what an extra $200 a month can mean to you by simply storing your friends' boxes and mattresses. Once again, check out nextdoor.com. Thanks. The Ohio Business Podcast is sponsored by Jansen Media.
Jansen Media is a website design and digital marketing agency. They develop custom strategies and solutions around client goals and business objectives. From day one, they have been focused on results, building websites that deliver more online traffic, more conversions, better user experience, easy navigation, and web functionality. You can find Jansen Media on their website at jansenmedia.com. That's spelled JANSCEN media.com. That's jansenmedia.com. Thanks.